We know you want to hear more of what Andrew and John have to say. Don't worry, we will. But first, let's hear what they got into earlier today on Kincaid and South Tunis.
Flyers lose to Pittsburgh yesterday, 3-2. They came out the gate playing well in the first period, but the Penguins were the team that had the 1-0 lead through the first period. The first three games, it was either the Flyers were the bullies, or if the Penguins tried to bully, the Flyers punched right back. They were not afraid to stand up to the bully. They were either the instigators or they were fighting right back. They weren't going to the bathroom stall and crying out. Game 4 and Game 5, it just feels like they didn't play the same way they played the first three games. It just looks like that same energy wasn't necessarily there.
The Flyers were the better team for probably 30 minutes of that game, and the Penguins were the better team for about 30 minutes of that game. It's just that they didn't get it done, and again, the freaking weird goal that won that game, it's a backbreaker. I'm not overly concerned, but tomorrow night, the pressure is clearly on the Flyers to win that game.
We were all thinking a move was going to happen yesterday, whether it was Kevin Long or Rob Thompson or a player of note gets demoted or something. We thought something would happen yesterday to freaking light a fire onto this baseball team. If there is a move, it would most likely be a Kevin Long.
And that's the one I thought was going to happen, especially after the manifesto the other day about how we get the best hitting coach in baseball. Really? That's a bad resume then. That's the best hitting coach in baseball. The results are terrible.
Now back to the show.
That's some of what we've talked about this morning. Phillies were expecting something today. No, this is not a recording of yesterday's show because we expected something yesterday until Jim Salisbury sent us podcast. Hey, maybe Tuesday. So it's the shock value when the guys are going to the ball club. And look, Amy, I'll ask you this question because we talked about this morning. Do you think the Phillies actually respond well to something like this? Because let's not act like they've handled pressure all that well.
Yeah, I think there will be players that do respond to it. I think it'll be the veteran players that respond to it. And of course, there's the flip side of that. You needed something to respond to,
right.
Which is fine. I mean, maybe you always need a little something just to kind of wake you up and realize there are repercussions, there are consequences of results. Or lack thereof, I should say, because there are no results that are positive right now. So I feel like it could. It's always something you see like a little bit of a boost because it just reminds, maybe they need a reminder, like you have to, if you don't perform, things happen. Bad things happen to people that you like. And that's one of those things. And I don't know why that is. It's not the Phillies specific. I'm not saying like Kyle Schwarber needed this. That's a sports thing across all sports ever, forever.
But it's like putting a shock collar on Amy Fadul and saying, John and Andrew, if you don't do this segment, Scott in his office is going to shock Amy. He's going to put the shock collar on Amy. If you guys don't do what you're supposed to do, I'm going to shock Amy. That's really what this sort of is. We're going to punish somebody else.
It's the general consequences of your actions.
What happens
it's just
sports.
Consequences of your actions, and there have not been any consequences of the actions the last year or two.
Well, and part of that is the manager's fault.
Yep.
Fine.
Because Bryce Harper does the same base, and look, Bryce is playing well, but the base running thing, it's like he does it all over and over and over again.
But don't worry about it because he knows that he's wrong. Yeah, the manager told you that. He knows he did was wrong.
I'm never going to, I don't care. I shouldn't say I don't care. That on the list of things for me is just so low.
Wow. Yeah, I agree.
Wow. So low.
I think it's arrogance. I think it's complete arrogance. It's so low for me. Like, I get it. And if this team was like doing so well and they had lost like a 1-run game like 5 different times because of base running things, I'd have been like, yeah, it's absolutely number one. It is so low down my list right now. I just can't. It's their approach at the plate. It's swinging at the first pitch. It's hitting. If there's remotely a gentleman on the base pass, which is not something we see a lot, moving him over. Something fun to do, like get that guy from first to second, matriculate around the bases. That's on my list. The rotation's on my list. The bullpen's on my list. The outfield lack of power is on my list. The outfield questionable defense is on my list. The infield is on my list. Like these are all things.
List.
It is. So Bryce Harper sometimes getting caught because he thinks he's Invisibryce. It's probably on my list, but it's way down.
But it's another one of the problems.
He doesn't listen. He doesn't learn.
He's got a cloak.
What does the message Yeah, but
what do the younger players
why do I care
learn
about that
watching that, though? They watch him. They're
going to learn aggressiveness, and I think if anything, if that's the one thing they take away, fine. I can't imagine they look at Bryce Harper and think, I can do that. Maybe they can. Great. You should do everything else he's doing then. If you want to take away and you're so fired up about his running to second when he's trying to leg out a single into a double, great. He's aggressive. If you want to take it at its very base, he's aggressive. Is it a smart play? No, we know that.
Dumb play.
It's not smart, but he's aggressive. And you know what he did to get there? He hit the ball.
That's a good point.
So if you're going to copy something Bryce is doing, start with
hitting the ball.
One.
Putting it into the outfield.
Step one. So I have a lot of things on my list, and Bryce is not one of them right now.
It's been a rough start to the season. Worst record in baseball. Do they make a move today? We will be monitoring the situation. Make sure you listen to Middays with Marks. Johnny Marks and Sean Brace coming your way at 10 o'clock. But joining us now here on Kincaid and South Tunis on this Tuesday with Amy Fadul in studio with us for the rest of the show. He does a great job covering the Eagles for The Athletic. We'll get his reaction on the draft here momentarily, but the Eagles made some more news yesterday, giving the fifth-year option to both Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith. So, Zach, let's talk about that first with both of those players. Is this the beginning of what will be contract talks for Jalen Carter, and is this a prove-it year for Nolan Smith? Your thoughts on the fifth-year extension for those guys?
Yeah, I certainly think for Jalen Carter, this is a way to buy time because that fifth-year option is over $27 million, in 2027. And my guess is he's a player that the Eagles will want as a foundation piece. And similar to what they did with Devontae Smith, similar to what they did with Jordan Davis, you can fold that fifth-year option into a contract extension. And so these things do take time. That will be my guess with Jalen Carter. With Nolan Smith, the fifth-year option is more manageable financially. You're looking at $13.8 million. But yeah, his long-term future with the Eagles is more ambiguous. Obviously, they trade for Jonathan Grenard this weekend, give up 2 draft picks, sign him to a $100 million contract. Jalen Hunt is someone that they're extraordinarily bullish on as well. So I don't know if there's room for 3 major contracts in there. So we'll see what happens for Nolan Smith. But I think for fans listening to this, at least for 2026, this will be what their trio is at the edge rusher spot.
When you saw what the Eagles did in the draft, did it give you a good idea about, hey, I think this goes along well with what their plan has been as far as how they're going to be spending their money in the future, that this plan works?
Yeah, and I mean, throughout the offseason, I've been saying that their objective is to get young, cost-controlled players on offense, knowing that money is shifting to defense during the next 2-3 years. And sure enough, the Eagles' first 3 picks are on the offensive side of the ball. So I do think that the Eagles are anticipating a transition in terms of, you just have to look at the ages of the players, wide receiver, offensive line, tight end. You're going to see some changes here during the next, well, I would say month, but then, a year, 2 years on the offensive side of the ball. And that means that defensively, players, obviously, Jalen Carter, Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell, we'll see Jalen Hunt, Nolan Smith. I mean, there's a lot of guys who are going to get paid on the defensive side of the ball. So I think the draft really did show this transition's taking place.
Zach, you mentioned it. It was like one of those things that there's going to be changes coming up probably in the next month. What is your number one thing that you think that they're going to do first?
Well, I think the A.J. Brown trade on June 2nd will be, kind of the headlining move. And so once that occurs, that's one of the best players in the NFL. So you take him out of the offense. Obviously, Mekhi Lemon, your first-round pick, Eli Stowers, your second-round pick. This passing game is going to look different. So I think that the big change, obviously, will be an eventual A.J. Brown trade. Along with that, I would imagine continued negotiations with Jalen Carter to kind of see where that goes. Because when you have a player who's a foundation piece for you, it behooves you to do it sooner than later. The price is not going to go down for Jalen Carter. The price is only going to go up.
Zach, speaking of the offense, they spend their first 2 picks on offense, Mekhi Lemon, Eli Stowers. And it really looks like they're saying, here you go, Sean Mannion. We want you to have a lot of fun with these new toys. But let's not act like he might not be a head coach elsewhere in the next year if the Eagles win a Super Bowl, because that happens. Is this the direction where the Eagles as a franchise wants to go, this style of offense, regardless of who the coordinator is?
Well, I would imagine that Mekhi Lemon and Eli Stowers would have been appealing prospects for the Eagles no matter who the coordinator is. I don't think they were drafted for the scheme per se. You can certainly see the scheme fit, especially with Mekhi Lemon. But you are right. I mean, it could go the other way too, right? If the team struggles next year, there could be a different offensive coordinator the following year. So what I think Howie's trying to do is get good players and good value, and he certainly got that in Mekhi Lemon and good player in Eli Stowers. So yeah, I think that it is a real consideration when you see what's happened here during the past few years, that this is a revolving door at offensive coordinator. When they win, the coordinator gets poached. When they lose, the coordinator gets looked at. I don't think the Eagles drafted these players specifically for the scheme, but I do think they fit the scheme that the Eagles run.
When you look at how the other teams in the division did during the draft, boy, the NFC East looks like, at least in the next year or two, is going to get a lot more rugged.
Yeah, and when the Giants hired John Harbaugh, you're expecting that, right? That's been Harbaugh's style for 2 decades. I think the Cowboys did a good job on the defensive side of the ball. I thought Caleb Downs was the best player in the draft, and the Cowboys drafted him. So you are correct about that. And the Eagles have had I don't want to say an easy time in this division, but the Giants have been down for quite some time. Washington's been kind of hot and cold here. So if this division's more competitive, the Eagles got to be on their game. But I would still say the Eagles are the best team in the division and the front runner to win it.
Zach, you only mentioned A.J. Brown once, and that's not the requirement. So we have to talk about him just a smidge more. But in seriousness, that's obviously going to happen. I think that's not a very good secret at this point. What's the return, and do they have enough to replace his production currently on the roster?
Yeah, so to the second part of the question, well, I suppose I'll answer the first part of the question. I think that I can't tell you specifically what the return is going to be. I said on air last week, I don't think it's going to look bad for Howie Roseman. Like I would imagine that there's a first round a pick in there at some point in some way, whether it's conditional, whether it's down the line. I can tell you the best trades Howie's made have been when he's valued down the line picks. So if there's and I said that this offseason when there were questions about were they going to get a 26 pick? I thought 27 would be appealing. If it's, post June 1st, it could be 28. But you look at, for instance, just look at last week, the Eagles draft on the top of the 3rd round with a pick that they got for Hassan Reddick 2 years ago. So Howie tends to have a long horizon, and I don't think that's going to change. To the second part of the question, I think that the replacement's going to have to come in the aggregate. It's not the type of thing. A.J. Brown is an elite player in this league, and there's no one the Eagles can put in there to replace A.J. Brown. Frankly, Devontae Smith is going to be the A.J. Brown replacement. He'll be the top receiver. But then I think beyond that, you look at obviously Mekhi Lemon, Dallas Goedert, Eli Stowers. They have Dontavian Wicks. I mean, there's going to be a number of different players here. They're going to run the ball quite a bit. So I don't think it's going to look the way it's looked in the past, where you have these 2 number 1 receivers. I think it'll be Devontae Smith and then filling it in the aggregate.
Zach, what'd you make of the trade for Jonathan Grenard on day 2 of the NFL draft?
I liked it. I really liked the player. I thought the value, it was expensive, but the reality is the Eagles have been looking for this top of the depth chart edge rusher. They wanted to keep Jalen Phillips. They pursued Trey Hendrickson. Jonathan Grenard is up there for one of the most productive edge rushers in the league. They give up a 3rd this year and a 3rd next year. I thought the contract value was fair. And I think at least for the short term here, Vic Fangio's defense is going to be one of the best in the league. And we saw anecdotally how it looked when you added Jalen Phillips last year, when you add a top of the depth chart edge rusher, I think it really changes things all around that front seven. So I like the move for the Eagles. I thought it was expensive, but it wasn't prohibitive.
All right, Zach, we appreciate the time as always, man. Oh, wait, one more for you.
What's that?
How intrigued are you in covering Uar Bernard?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I am fascinated by this. I was there I've been there for Jordan Mailata's whole career, but those first few summers, it was like, what's going on here sometimes, right? And then you see him now, and he's an all-pro left tackle, or a franchise left tackle, I should say. And so it's going to take time, and I think like the Jordan Mailata story is like the best possible outcome that it could be, and it might be an unrealistic outcome, but at least for someone who's there at practice every day, seeing this work, Clint Hurt is an outstanding defensive line coach. I'm excited to watch Clint Hurt on the field with him. It's going to be a great story to watch, but it could be the type of thing that it goes on over 3 years before you have an idea if there's any return on the investment.
Sure. Zach, we appreciate the time,
Thanks,
man.
Zach.
Great work as always, and keep up the great work at The Athletic. Thanks, man.
Thanks, guys.
There he is, Zach Berman, joining us here on Kincaid and Sal Chunas. Amy, we were talking about the fifth-year options earlier today, Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith. You heard Zach talk about it. It's just kind of kick the can down the road for Jalen Carter. But with Nolan Smith, it almost feels like it's, all right, dude, this is your chance to show us that you're the first-round pick that we selected. Not that he's been bad. Right. It's just he's been kind of like Nakobe Dean, unavailable a lot. And then when he is available, unlike Nakobe Dean, there have been days, weeks where he kind of disappears.
Yeah. It's, it's such a tough thing because I think there's always that, if you can do it, maybe you should, just because it's not like a flyer because obviously it's actual money, but it is kind of like, all right, well, we'll see how this one's going to turn out. And then we kind of push the can down the road a little bit before giving them extra. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah. I don't know. I would hate it would be the most Philadelphia thing that people will do it all the time. Will be like, of course, that he leaves and then becomes like an insane player. And blah,
sure.
Blah, blah, so.
I don't think he's going to be back. I think Nolan Smith plays his fifth year and he's done.
I think Nolan plays his fifth and he'll be done.
Yeah. I think that's probably a thing.
I think you're lining up Jalen Carter.
You kick the cans on it, but so you have
Davis.
You have
that gives you the flexibility.
Exactly. You have him under contract right now. You can see how this season goes. If it goes really well, then you can reevaluate. But you're not stuck already by giving it a contract too early.
And by the way, the fifth year option's next.
Yeah, he's got 2 more years.
Yeah. So he's still got 2 more years. Like it's
exactly.
not like
both of them.
This isn't Nolan Smith's last year.
But Jalen Carter, I can tell you right now, is not going to want to play this year under that. He wants the new deal now. So hopefully they'll be able to get this thing done.
I'm sure that they will.
Hopefully.
I mean, the dude's
he is a beast.
Yeah.
And they want it. Believe me, they want to get it done.
You know, I understand that there's sometimes questions about Jalen Carter, and it's not necessarily the on the field stuff. It's
right, immaturity.
Yeah, like he was late. Exactly. Times. That's why he's been benched for a series or two.
Stuff like that annoys me because it's just so needless.
Yeah,
like you can't show up on time.
I mean, look at the Abdul Carter situation in New York, right? Like that apparently happened a lot last year.
You should show up on time. You should show up in shape. This is your job.
But the thing is, if the Eagles are hesitant to pay him, somebody else will. Like, he's going to get paid.
Oh, gosh.
Right? Like, the dude's a stud. Jalen Carter's a stud.
Or traded for a fortune.
Right.
But he's not going to get traded.
No, that's not happening. This team's...
No, they like him.
I can't imagine that happens. All right, Connor, let's check the poll of the day. Brought to us by Dr. Avi Donapel, Iron Mountain Men's Health. It is a Flyers-related poll. Flyers lose last night 3-2 in Pittsburgh. So Game 6 now tomorrow night. 7:30 puck drop. You can listen live right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Don't forget tonight's Sixers game at 7. You can listen here on The Fanatic. But what's the Flyers poll after the second straight loss?
Our question today, how concerned are you with the Flyers series after the Game 5 loss? 62% saying a little nervous, which is still our leader. But the they're in trouble crowd is growing. 23% now saying they're in trouble. Only 15% saying not worried at all.
They're in trouble is almost a quarter of the fan base. That's interesting.
We got over 330 votes on that, too.
Wow, that's good.
That's interesting. I mean, look, I think a lot of it that's settling in for people right now is they didn't expect them to be here. They didn't expect them to be up. They didn't expect them to be up 3-0.
Right.
No.
And now they've lost 2 straight games, and maybe all those initial thoughts are creeping back into the minds of people. That's my guess.
There you go.
I didn't vote. They're in trouble.
No, I voted the.
A little nervous.
If you are not concerned, if you don't have a little mild concern, you haven't paid attention.
Yeah,
because you should have a little mild.
You
concern.
can't have the we've been there before attitude.
No, because they haven't.
Correct.
They have not been
Correct.
there. See, that's why Amy. That's why Amy does what she does for a living.
Like,
the insights that you need to hear.
That's the good stuff right there. That's what I bring to the table.
Question on our YouTube chat. Somebody's saying Nolan Smith. There's a big year incoming. I hope you're right.
I hope so too.
But his YouTube name is Noel. So, like, is there a...
Yeah, but he could be a...
Is there a bias?
He could be a FSU person.
Oh. Like Seminole.
Like a Seminole.
Could be. I didn't know if the Noel was like a Nolan.
Or his name is Noel.
That's what I'm wondering. And is there a bias?
Nolan stick together.
No.
That is
could be.
Maybe.
You know,
Nolan's a strong
Or his name
name.
could just literally just be Noel.
Could be.
There is...
Could have nothing to do with any of the conversation.
I'm saying this...
We don't know.
Kindly. We overrate
He
players.
just stuck with it.
Sometimes we overrate players. Sometimes
I feel I'm of the belief that right now I'm in the camp that I overrated him.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying I was wrong on him.
He's had great moments. Great playoff, man.
Yeah, great playoff.
The year they win the Super
it was
Bowl.
great. Exactly.
He was
It was
unbelievable.
great. He really was.
But the thing is, you don't want it to be a situation where you're going, that's the memory.
You're harnessing that. You're trying to chase after that every single year.
There's a
you don't
certain
want
Tennessee defensive end you may think that way about.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's not Derek Barnett,
But Derek Barnett, we will always love Derek Barnett for jumping on the football.
Yeah,
He'll be remembered for that.
Yeah, Derek Barnett had a lot fewer flashes.
Yeah.
A lot fewer.
A lot more
and
flags.
a lot more penalties. Yeah.
Yes, there you go.
I think they were hot flashes.
All right,
it's always him, wasn't he? It's always him.
Yes, that was.
It's always him.
Coming up next, 2 sports stories to react to. One that I can't believe we didn't talk about yesterday. Honestly, I'm shocked that we didn't bring it up.
Not Dynamite?
No. That was today. The other broke after the show ended yesterday, and man, it continues to scare a lot of people in the world of sports betting. It is Kincaid and Sal Tunis. Amy with us here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Kincaid and Sal Tunis, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Before we get to these 2 stories, one that I'm surprised we didn't talk about yesterday and one that we didn't get a chance to because it happened after the show. I just saw credit to Anthony DeBona, who was the one that posted it. Anthony posted the 5th annual Devontae Smith Celebrity Softball Game.
Yeah, I saw that.
Who will be attending?
Scheduled to attend.
My invite got lost again this year.
I'm so sorry.
Jalen Hurts, Brandon Graham, Dallas Goedert, Jordan Mailata, former Eagle Nakobe Dean, former Eagle Darius Slay, Isaiah Rodgers, Jahan Dotson, T.O. This guy Hugh.
Yeah, I saw that Hugh Douglas. What's Hugh Douglas doing with himself?
Christian Gonzalez, who plays for the New England Patriots. Cam Latu, one of Andrew DeCecco's favorites. Johnny Wilson, E.J. Jenkins, Elijah Moore, new Eagles wide receiver. Jacorian Bennett, Chase Young, Jerry Jeudy, Jalix Hunt, Dontavian Wicks, new Eagles wide receiver. Matthew Judon, I can't read. Jalen Milroe, Jordan Batman. These prints.
Cameron Williams, Chase Young. Do you get Jacorian Bennett?
I didn't mention AJ Brown's name.
Yeah, AJ's not going to be there.
AJ Brown's been there every single year,
but he's going to. But he's not being traded.
Yeah, he's not going to be there.
You're all making it up.
By the way, I just want to.
How did that conversation go? Yo, dude, I still got my celebrity thing. Oh, man.
Oh, sorry. Can't make
I'll be at the Mike and Diana's golf tournament that weekend.
I am going to mention one more name because I promised I wouldn't do gotcha as I stare into the YouTube comment.
Why in the world you promised that?
I promised I wouldn't do that.
After all the nonsense abuse.
I know. I still remember the morning after AJ Brown went on the podcast or the stream.
We're all Patriots, right?
No.
Oh, that
during the season.
Janky
Rondo.
Yes,
yeah.
Janky
And a
Rondo.
lot of you, who is this guy anyway? Nobody knows him. He's one of the guys that's
one of the
celebrity golf.
Yankee Rondo.
By the
celebrity
way,
softball game.
By the way, tell me you're old or have your head in the sand and you don't know who Janky Rondo is.
Oh,
by the way,
I'm
the one with the gray hair in the show, and I knew immediately who he was because I have a 22-year-old.
Never heard that guy in my life.
I knew who he was.
Janky Rondo?
Clue.
Yeah, I knew.
But then I saw his following, and I said,
you knew who he is.
Wow.
You have kids.
Well, they're not on TikTok.
No, but they still know who he is. They would know his name the minute
Shawnee would know who Janky Rondo is.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. But
I just like that he just called
AJ Brown won't be there.
Rondo.
And the guy that nobody knows, Janky Rondo.
Yeah, Janky
is one of the friends of the team. And remember, AJ Brown went on his stream and started complaining.
But nobody knows who he is.
Yeah. All right.
It's all made up.
2 stories. One that took place Sunday. Shame on us for not bringing it up.
What's that?
For the first time in the history of the world, recorded at least, we had a racer break the 2-hour barrier in a marathon.
Did you see it? I didn't see it live because I can't imagine, but it was obviously a quick watch. So I watched some of the clips. To keep that pace for that length of time is out of control.
Amy, he was flying.
I don't even know how you do it.
You can't. You think you're watching something sped up. It's the only way I can say what you're watching when you see the clips of him at different portions of the race, not just the finish line.
Well, that's the thing. You would think he was sprinting to the finish line. Like, no.
That's the entire race.
That was his pace in mile 1, let alone 26.2. Yes. This guy, Sebastian Sawi, I don't know how to say his last name, from Kenya, 1 hour, 59 minutes, and 30 seconds.
That's spectacular.
Now, I feel horrible for somebody. Absolutely horrible.
Why?
I feel horrible for Yamif Kajelcha.
Because he was probably thought he was cruising.
He finished in 1 hour, 59 minutes, and 41 seconds. So we had 2 people break the 2-hour barrier.
But no one's going to remember his name.
Nobody's going to remember Yamif.
Sebastian, we got
They're only going to remember Sebastian because he's the guy that won. Could you imagine you break the 2-hour barrier, but you finish second?
Yeah.
So nobody's going to
It's never been done. There's 2 people did it, and they'll be like, oh, there's another guy?
Okay, that's crazy.
I don't think so.
That is
Which means that there's going to be more, right?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's just getting faster. It's unbelievable.
I urge everyone just to Google or just search it up on Instagram or wherever. Watch the clips of when he's running mile 22 or mile 18. It looks like it's sped up.
He did 13.1 in 1 hour and 29 seconds.
And he got faster.
The second half, 59 minutes and 1 second.
That's absurd, dude.
After running 13 miles.
He did another 13.1 miles in under an hour. That's
30, almost 21 minutes faster than he did the first hour.
That's just...
Or first mile, or a half mile.
Crazy.
Marathon.
Crazy stuff. So that's number 1.
Yeah.
The other one that broke after we got off the air, so we didn't have a chance to talk about this. Did you guys see the latest betting scandal that's going on in the world of college football?
I did.
Remember when they announced that college athletes were allowed to gamble?
Yes, and we all thought, that's going to go well.
This is great. Stupid.
Great idea.
It's such a smart idea.
I can't believe
it was as long as they don't bet on their own. I was like, this is a terrible idea.
They allowed it.
Think about how dumb we all were in college.
Yes,
you gave us a giant life
Why
choice
did you
like
say
that.
College, Amy?
And Amy, how about even more so?
College?
We didn't have NILs in college.
No,
right?
we were gambling away nothing.
I was working at Applebee's, getting $2.18 an hour and begging for tips.
You belonged at Applebee's.
These guys are getting NIL
actual money.
Yes, real money. Texas Tech transfer quarterback Brendan Sorsby checked himself, and good for him for doing this, checked himself into a residential treatment program for gambling addiction, but he's under the NCAA's investigation in the wake of discovery that he was making thousands of bets via a gambling app on the team that he was a part of. Now, he was out.
Now, did you see what he was also doing, though?
What else did he do?
He's betting on, he would watch sporting events and be betting on every inning, every pitch,
really,
and things like that.
Well, maybe he was friends with the guys.
He was
from
addicted
Cleveland.
to stuff. He was addicted to...
Right, so I'm glad he's going to get the treatment.
Put it down. He
right.
couldn't put it down. He had in a 7-day week, he once had a 21-hour average phone.
Oh, my God.
Feels like too much.
You would...
Now, that tells me I don't even think you could do that. That's 3 hours sleep. But
was it active? Constantly active?
But they're saying it's constantly active, so you had to be doing something with your phone. He's really got an addiction. Hopefully he gets it fixed.
Yeah, you hope you get it checked out. But I mean, he was betting I think one thing, he was out, and so he was betting, but he never bet against his team, like that kind of stuff. And it's like,
neither did Pete Rose.
Neither did Pete Rose. We can't. That's not how this works.
That slippery slope is not even. That is an ice luge. Like you cannot. Yeah. This is not a good idea. And not a good idea.
No, it's bad because the frontal lobe thing. It's not all secure by that age.
Terrible idea.
It's bad. Just a dumb.
I just like when we all knew when they said it, like, oh, that's going to work out well.
It's really going to go well.
No, all of us were.
But there was supposed to be some kind of like regulation.
Well, what's the regulation?
I remember thinking like certainly there would be some kind of regulation, right? And that's where the apps don't care about. And that's listen, I appreciate them. Everybody responsible.
Sure. And that's why they ask you be responsible.
But you cannot. There should be some kind of flag system if you're on there for 21 straight hours.
Well,
he was on his phone. It says he wasn't on the app gambling, but he was on his phone. It said at one time he had a week where he tracked 21 hours, roughly. It rounded up to 21 hours of usage of his phone a day.
God,
like that's too much. That's a
I would like to see
addiction.
Right, I would like to see what some. College students, what theirs is, what's it, like 18?
Oh, it's crazy.
So he's probably not too far off what normal people are, but that seems a little extreme.
It is extreme. It's scary, man.
You should walk down. I'll be on campus today, last day of school, and you walk down on campus.
They're all head down.
And head down. You got students head down looking at their phones.
This per Pete Thamel, who's a college writer for ESPN. According to sources, Sorsby bet on Indiana football while redshirting for IU as a true freshman in 2022, a season in which he played a single game as a reserve. The bets in 2022, per sources, were on Indiana to win, and none came in a game in which Sorsby appeared. Sorsby's gambling has not drawn the attention of law enforcement, per sources, nor has he been linked to anyone attempting to influence the outcome of the contest. Still, you're betting on the team that you are a part of. That's that no-no.
It's an absolute no-no. That was the one caveat. Like, we're going to let them bet, but they can't bet. Like, I mean, you can't do that.
You can't do it.
Terrible idea all along.
Just don't do it. Just don't do it.
Put the phone down, kids.
Please.
Man, it's a horrible story. All right, what do we got on the Davis Honda text line? You can feel the Davis difference. You can check them out in Burlington.
You could pick the phone up to text the Davis Honda text line. That's always okay. And we've got to check in here from Lou. Talking a little Flyers. Now, we haven't really brought this up yet today, but Lou from Langhorne says, I'm not advocating for a goalie change because Vladar has been great, but the difference in each of the last two games have been bad goals given up by him. Any thought on that?
That third one was just...
Yeah.
The third one was just weird.
Yeah, unlucky.
I can't. And the first goal was during the line change. And it was a weird rebound.
Well, the third
there were
goal
two
was
flukies. Yeah, there were some flukies.
But the other night,
you need to score though.
There were two flukies. It was like one terribly misplayed behind the net, and then the goal that he never gives up that first one. So
I'm not ready to do the change.
I did not think
Penguins
they
were desperate.
I never thought they were coming back, even when it was 2-2, and then that fluky goal went in last night to put them down 3-2. I never thought they were coming back. I'm watching that game, and I'm like, they're not getting a goal tonight. That goal just freaked me out.
Yeah.
Freaked me out, Jerry. See what happens.
Oh, wow, how about this? I bring up the sports gambling thing. We have an update on Terry Rozier.
Oh, boy.
Scary Terry.
Give you that coming up next.
There we go.
Speaking of basketball and gambling, we have the line for tonight's Sixers game. We'll discuss tonight's Sixers game. Yep. And we hope that we have another one later this week. It's Kincaid and Sal Tunis. Amy with us, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Kincaid and Sal Tunis, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
It is 9:47 here on Kincaid and Sal Tunis, 97.5 The Fanatic. Amy didn't even know there was a second sub 2-hour finisher. That's why I feel bad for the guy.
I feel bad for him. I had no idea until you said that. He is going to find the next marathon. He's going to make sure our buddy Sebastian's not there, and he's going to work his butt off to make sure he beats that.
Yeah, he's like,
but he's not going to. He'll never be the first.
He'll never be the first, even though he was a part of the first race. And
I didn't know he existed.
Have we
as a sub 2
poor guy?
Hour guy.
Have we had other examples in sports where somebody does something?
Would have to be like a race like that, right?
It has to be or somebody hits like.
Because
someone hit like 50 home runs and then someone else hit 51?
You had the McGuire Sosa.
Yeah,
they were like back to back.
Well, we know what happened there. They were both cheap.
Completely legit, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. Totally legit. It was awesome to watch every night.
I don't know.
It was fun.
Like these two didn't it was
entertaining.
Like they didn't watch.
I'm trying to think. Like, Michael Phelps winning the gold. Like, you don't really, other than Lochte, just because of the whole.
Well, Michael Phelps set the record.
The fight at the gas station.
The fake
stuff.
Story. But like everybody remembers Phelps and not the teammates. Like maybe that's.
Yeah, because he's the one that made 8.
Yeah. Can you remember the other two? I know Phelps.
No.
I know, and I only know Lochte because of the story.
Well, who was the guy that won it at the end because they thought they were not going to win?
I think
he came all the way
wasn't
back.
it Lochte?
Was
I thought it
might have
was.
been. It might have been.
It wasn't Lochte. It was some other dude.
I feel like it was another guy.
That's the thing. The other
Congrats to
guy.
that other guy.
This poor other
He's
guy.
got a gold medal.
American hero.
Connor would have liked Ryan Lochte.
Yeah.
No, he's too much of a bro.
Connor would have liked
Brazilian
Ryan Lochte. Connor would have liked Ryan Lochte.
See, I wouldn't say I like Lochte. I enjoy Lochte's presence.
Oh, jeez.
I think sports needs characters, and he's a character.
God, yeah, he's a character. All right.
Jason Lezak.
Yeah, we say Jason.
Guy.
Of course.
Cullen Jones. Lochte on the one. Oh, that's the freestyle relay. This was the medley.
Yeah.
Copy that. Oh, I got to
Do
look
they
up
have
the
to
medley.
sing during that one?
Maybe. I don't know.
They do them all. They got to do all this.
You know who's going to be singing in jail? Terry Rozier.
Oh, no.
So it
is jail.
In case, maybe. In case people don't remember, Terry Rozier was kind of that first, wow, this guy's throwing games. Look at that pass that made no sense to the opposition. Look at that.
Or you dribbled it off your foot.
Look at that
for the third time.
Look at that three-pointer with 3 guys in front of him.
How obvious can you make
it? Was really, really bad. And then it led to the Chauncey Billups stuff, all kinds of stuff, right? But that was a little bit different. That wasn't.
He was like associated with the companies or the groups that were.
The families.
Yeah,
he was part of the families.
I tried to be.
But he was the head coach.
Diplomatic.
He was the head coach at the time. And so there's theories that he may have been given information about players that were not going to be playing. And
it was definitely.
He was playing for he was coaching for a tanking team. Mm-hmm. So Terry Rozier, it almost felt like that went away. Like somebody got paid off.
And it just went away.
It's done. Well, I just saw this from Yahoo. Federal prosecutors, intend to bring new charges.
Oh, no.
Against former Heat guard Terry Rozier related to their sports gambling case against the NBA players and others. A lawyer in the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of New York said Monday that it intends to file a superseding indictment against Rozier, alleging that he solicited and accepted bribes.
By the way, when the feds bring charges against you,
they know something.
You are 99% convicted.
Yeah, they don't. They don't mess around. Yeah, they don't do things.
I remember you saying that when the Billups thing happened because they knocked on his hotel room.
Right,
and you're like, that's not.
Hey,
it's not going to go well for you.
You're not coaching tonight.
It's a 99% conviction rate, and most of the time you plea
because
you do
because their investigations aren't months; they're years,
and they got
years
you
of evidence.
Well, yeah, because the video came out. That was like 3 seasons ago, and then he was still on a roster.
Exactly.
That's the scariest part.
We learned it all during the living through the Michael Vick story down in Atlanta. It was like when Mike got caught by the feds, it was like they were like, "There's no getting off of this," because people were like,
"This happened."
Mike's going to be.
They've got multiple witnesses. They have paper trails. They have video. None of that stuff. Yeah,
and they went after Mike for something that they didn't go after the normal citizens for, and it was bad.
Well, they should,
but they didn't. They don't though.
They do in certain circles. I know. I've had
they made
that I tangentially knew got busted for it in Virginia.
Well, that's the area they do
in Hampton.
Yeah. That's where they go. Hampton Roads, baby.
All right, Sixers back tonight. They hope to keep the season alive.
I hope so. I'd love for them to come home.
I really would take. I would take the 11.5 tonight.
I think they come out with a lot of fight.
I really do too.
Taking away what Tyrese Maxey said, and kudos to whoever the reporter was, and I'm not sure who it was, asked the follow-up, like, yeah, we need to come with urgency or whatever his kind of, I'm paraphrasing it, and they're like, why didn't you do it tonight?
Yeah.
He's just like, you're right. Like, we need to examine that. I got to look at the tape. We have to look at it. I think that was a very mindful response by him because he acknowledged the fact that they didn't bring the fight to the Celtics in Game 4 at all.
How much, as someone who gets to, be around that more, how much do you appreciate Tyrese Maxey?
I mean, his honesty, his work ethic, obviously his talent, but answering a question like that, which is a tough question, and the follow-up was, why didn't you do that tonight? And he's like, listen, I'm going to examine that. I don't know. We needed to. We were supposed to. We should have. Like, that's accountability. And I know that in a season that's gone sideways for them, I think that that's really something that you can point to for a leader for the future for the Sixers.
We're so lucky to have him here. We're so he's one of the reasons that and then Edgecombe seems like exactly, he's cut from the same
that's
cloth.
Like a trickle down effect because your leader is for the guards is Tyrese Maxey, and that's going to influence VJ Edgecombe. Obviously, looks up to him quite a bit. I think that's a really important precedent to set.
I also don't think it's going to look as horrific to start.
No,
we didn't ask.
They made such a big adjustment from game 1 to game 2. I think there'll be something similar. Of course, Mazzulla makes his own adjustments, but I feel like there's going to be a pretty. They'll run them off the line more at the 3.
What did you make of them making it the Embiid offense? I hated the idea.
I go back to something that Mark Jackson said, and I think I told you guys, like, if Embiid comes in, or maybe I didn't. If Embiid comes in, don't worry about him. Don't worry about him. Mark Jackson said. Jim O'Brien told him when Allen Iverson was in the game, Mark would be like, I don't know what to do. Don't you worry about Allen Iverson. He'll be fine. He'll get his shots. Play your game. The Sixers, for whatever reason, reverted back. And they didn't do it all season.
No.
They did it for portions of the season, but not all season, especially late when they were going along. I think it was just that knee-jerk reaction, like, we got to get him involved. We got to get him involved, which I appreciate.
They defer
But you don't
to him.
have to get him involved. He will get involved. He's a former MVP. He'll figure it out. But I think it was the thing of, like, all right, we need to get him going.
Part of the reason why you're down 14 at the end of the first quarter.
But you don't think that he sort of...
No, I don't. That's not dictated. That is absolute. Tyrese Maxey takes 14 shots. Do you think that the coach said, you know what I want you to do? The coach has said 50 times, take shots. I want you to shoot 26 times or whatever. He had averaged 26 attempts. Tyrese Maxey had. He took 14.
I just think
you think that was a coaching thing? There's no
I think
way.
They defer to Joel.
Well, that's a player thing.
No, that's what I mean. I think they defer to Joel.
I think they called plays. They were like, we need to get going. You need to get people involved.
We got to get the big man going.
I don't think that's what they called plays for at all. You watch those plays were not called for him.
No. I'm saying I think that there are times where they worry about the players on the court worry about Joel.
I can count on one hand, but unfortunately, one of those games was absolutely game 4. Yeah. I think because of him coming back, they wanted to get him involved, and that's fine. But at halftime, when the game was over,
and it was
over. You're like, well, we steered that ship wrong.
Hopefully they fight back tonight.
I think so.
I don't want to do the it's over show tomorrow.
No, we don't want to do that.
We'll see. Everybody have a great rest of your day. Middays with Mark's next. Don't forget your next chance to win $1,000 right at 10 o'clock.
Thanks, guys.
Amy, thank you as always, and we'll be back at it tomorrow here in the Fanatic.